Welcome back to another episode of Into the Depths of Mystery. Tonight, we dive into a tale where Halloween wasn't just about pumpkins, costumes, and candy. This isn't your usual night of harmless fun. What started as an innocent trick-or-treat adventure with friends turned into something we still can't explain. So sit back, turn off the lights, and let the fall wind howl outside your window. Because this is the story of the lady by the cornfield. Growing up, Halloween was always my favorite time of the year. It wasn't just about the candy. It was the crisp autumn air, the rustling of orange leaves under my feet, and the transformation of every quiet suburban street into a haunted maze of glowing pumpkins, cobwebs, and skeletons perched on porches. The anticipation began days in advance. We'd discuss costumes at lunch, draw spooky posters in class, and count down the days like it was Christmas. But what I loved most wasn't Halloween Day itself. It was the evening, that moment when the sun dipped below the horizon, and the entire neighborhood turned into a spooky playground. Every year, I went trick-or-treating with my closest friends. We were inseparable, 4 kids with pillowcases in hand, flashlights in our pockets, and hearts full of excitement. We planned everything, from matching costumes to which houses gave out the best chocolate bars. We'd trade candies on the curb, boast about who collected the most, and always end the night with laughter, until one year when everything changed. I was in 7th grade, old enough to feel like we could conquer the whole neighborhood, and young enough to still believe in spooky stories. That year, we had a plan. We decided to go further than ever before, to houses we usually skipped because they were isolated or too far. We figured we could ride our bikes between neighborhoods, cover more ground, and double our candy loot. It sounded perfect. Our costumes were chosen carefully. I dressed up as a vampire. My friend Danny was Dracula. Sam wore a skeleton suit with glow-in-the-dark paint, and Eric was a ghost, the classic white sheet look. We met around 5:30 p.m., just as the last rays of light slipped away. The wind had a bite to it, and dry leaves scraped across the pavement. We were giddy, excited, and full of sugar-fueled ambition. With our flashlights tucked in our costume belts and pillowcases tied tight, we hit the streets on our bikes. Little did we know, someone was waiting. About 45 minutes into our route, we found ourselves riding near the edge of the neighborhood, where the street gave way to open fields and long stretches of corn that swayed gently in the evening breeze. The streetlights there were sparse, unlike the bright LEDs of today. These lights cast dim yellow halos, barely enough to see the road clearly. And that's when we saw her, an old woman. She stood at the edge of a cornfield, just a few feet from the road, her silhouette half shadowed by the tall stalks behind her. She was waving at us slowly, not frantically, just waving. We slowed down for a moment and waved back politely. We thought maybe she was just an old neighbor out for air, or someone enjoying the holiday spirit. We pedaled on and stopped at the next house, Mr. Coleman's, who handed out full-sized chocolate bars. Jackpot. As we rode further, another cornfield came into view, and again we saw her. Same woman, closer this time, still waving. We were confused. Had she walked that fast? Was there a shortcut through the field? We didn't dwell on it. We waved again, laughed nervously, and kept moving. But then it happened a third time. We made a left onto a narrow gravel path that cut between two fields. A path we'd never taken before. And there she was, right on the path. This time we stopped. She stood directly in our way, smiling warmly. She looked enchanting. Her long, multicolored gown swayed gently in the breeze. Her hair was thick and silver, cascading down her shoulders. In her arms, she held a basket brimming with candies, shiny wrappers in colors I'd never seen before. She spoke first. "I love your costumes," she said, her voice smooth like warm honey. We thanked her, grinning from ear to ear. "Would you like some candy?" she asked, tilting the basket forward. We eagerly approached, drawn in by the unusual glow of the sweets. One of my friends whispered, "I've never seen these brands before. They look awesome." She chuckled softly. "I make them myself," she said, "only for the best behaved children. And if you like these, I have many more at home." That's when I noticed her nails, long, curved, painted dark purple, almost claw-like. A small voice inside me whispered to be cautious. But the promise of more candy silenced that voice. "Where's your house?" Danny asked. "Just past the field," she smiled. "Come, I'll show you." Without hesitation, we left our bikes by the roadside and followed her into the cornfield. The deeper we walked into the field, the darker it got. Corn stalks rustled beside us. The wind grew colder. The sky turned from deep orange to black blue. At first, we chatted, talking about how we'd show off the mysterious candy to our classmates, how jealous everyone would be. But something started to feel off. Her pace never slowed. She glided ahead, silent now. She never looked back, and her voice, when she did speak, had changed. It wasn't sweet anymore. It was rough, deeper, almost like two voices layered over each other. "Why are we walking through the field?" Sam asked nervously. "It's a shortcut," she replied flatly. "There's no road to my house." That's when Eric tugged at my sleeve and whispered, "Her nails, they look even longer now. Did you see that?" I looked down at her hands as they moved. They were misshapen now, twisted, the fingers too long, the skin too pale, almost gray. I stopped walking. "I don't want any more candy," I said, trying to sound brave. "I think we should go home." My friends echoed me, uneasy now. But she didn't stop. "No," she said, "you agreed to come. You said you would." We froze. "You're coming with me," she repeated, her voice turning harsh, almost growling. "You said you would." She still hadn't turned around, but we could see her back now. Her gown was frayed, dirty, and crawling with some kind of vines, or hair. Then she raised her hand, unnaturally long fingers spreading. That's when we ran. We turned and sprinted back through the corn. The stalks scratched our arms and faces. The wind roared around us, and behind us we heard her. Not footsteps, not breathing, but something like whispering and laughter mixed together, following us, circling us. We burst out of the cornfield, lungs burning, and scrambled to our bikes. As we rode, we looked back. She was standing in the middle of the road, but she wasn't the same. Her hair was long and tangled, reaching the ground. Her face was sunken, eyes pitch black, her mouth impossibly wide. Her hands were like claws, and she just stood there watching. We pedaled like our lives depended on it. I don't even remember the streets, just the sound of our wheels spinning and our hearts pounding. When we finally reached our homes, we barely spoke a word. I never went trick-or-treating far from home after that. I never took candy from strangers again, no matter how beautiful or kind they seemed. Sometimes I wonder who or what she really was. A spirit, a witch, something that lives in the cornfields and waits for wandering children. All I know is this: Halloween has never been the same since. So if you ever find yourself riding past a lonely field on Halloween night, and you see someone waving at you from the shadows, don't wave back. Don't follow them. And whatever you do, don't eat their candy. And that was the night Halloween lost its innocence. Thanks for joining us on Into the Depths of Mystery. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because you never know what chilling tale we'll uncover next.